Hi, this is Mary Ellen Collins. I want to talk to you about wake up calls from God. Do you get wake up calls? How does God get your attention? Is it shoulder taps or is it nudges? Sometimes it may be in my sleep that I get nudges. Sometimes it takes a lot of really hard listening God for me to get my attention, for God to get my attention. Thank you for spending your time with me today. If I haven't met you yet, I'm Mary Ellen Collins. I'm the executive director and founder of the Motherless Daughters Ministry. I am so pleased that you have chosen to spend your precious time with me today. Um, I am bringing you this Monday morning ministry moments. So I want to talk to you about how God gets your attention. Sometimes I think he just gets so frustrated with me because he has to tap, 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 tap. But sometimes it's shoulder taps, sometimes it's nudges. But which one does it take for you? How does God get your attention? Last week, I received a video from someone, and I think this story is extremely powerful. And it happens to all of us all the time. This man on the screen is telling a story. I mean, I can relate to, and I think you will be able to relate to too. So he's at a restaurant with his wife, and he's just having a casual dinner. And he sees an elderly lady walk in. And he can tell by the way she walks, she's sad. She's very, very sad. So he continues his meal, but he hears a voice that says to him, "You really need to go over to that woman. You need to tell her how pretty she looks today." Huh? Now, you can imagine what may be going through this man's mind. I am supposed to go tell this woman how pretty she looks today? But the voice says, yes. He tries to ignore this, but he can't ignore it. So on his way out of the restaurant, he stops at her table, he kneels down, and he says to her, "If no one else has told you today, I want you to know how lovely you look." She looks at him, and with tears in her eyes, she responds, "I know you." The man responds, "I don't think so." She says, "Yes, I know your spirit." Oh, I mean, it gets quiet. You can imagine. Then she goes on to say, "My husband died a year ago, and I miss him so much. And that is something he would have said to me. Thank you." Well, the man is overwhelmed. Tears flow down his face. So the man goes on to say in this video that God taps us on the shoulder and uses us just at the right time, at the right moment. I get it. I say to him, yes, I can understand this. I'm talking to this man, though I'm talking to a video, he cannot respond to me. But I get it. The same thing happens. I don't get just tapped. I get nudged. And it's sometimes not gentle. Sometimes it has to be more forceful. I can just imagine God saying, "Listen up. This is important. You need to do this." I guess sometimes I just have to be shoved a bit harder to get my attention. Sometimes I feel like he literally is kind of smacking me up the side of the head and saying, "Listen up, Mary Ellen." And sometimes God comes to me in my sleep and he talks to me about what I must do to help others. My mind flips through the hundreds of times that God has nudged me. It goes something like this. An image of a person appears, and it may have been you. It may have been you. And then I get the words, "You should touch base with them." Now, it may be somebody I really don't know, somebody that I haven't heard from in years. I've had nudges for people that I should contact that it's been 30 years ago. And you think, leave it alone. But I keep getting nudged. And when I get these words, I know I'm always supposed to do it, but I also know that there's a reason that I found out that there's always a reason I'm supposed to do it. Sometimes it just was, there are so many things happening in their life. They needed someone to reach out and listen. Sometimes it's not so obvious. Sometimes I don't know the reason until much later. But what I do know is if I'm obedient, I will always understand why at some time. There is a reason God is nudging me. I have also learned that when I do get nudged, there's a blessing. There's a blessing waiting for someone. My obedience is rewarded with a blessing too. How many times I think about this? How many times have I missed that blessing because I ignored the nudge? I said, I don't think so. I shudder when I think about this. I believe that this is the Holy Spirit working in me that draws me to do something for someone, to step out of my comfort zone and be bold. And many times it really is being bold and stepping out. But my lesson is to obey and not question too much, because I don't know God's ways and there is a plan for everything. And I am simply his servant that he's using. And he's giving me the opportunity to be blessed also with this. Maybe it takes a nudge, just a nudge. Maybe it takes a tap. Maybe a tap doesn't do it for me. My question is, how do you get nudged? What happens when you step out in obedience and boldness, being bold? I am always blessed. Blessings are there for you and others. Be bold and step out.